you believe that time will treat us well?
Namaste, Goa Flowers. How are you? I am Anita Goa and welcome to my channel if you are new. In today's Wellbeing Wednesday, I wanted to share with you 5 tips that I myself use and I keep in mind to de-stress. Stress can really create havoc on our body, and there's no doubt that these times, these political times, is creating a lot of stress for each and every one of us all over the world. Now, stress might mean different things to different people. Different people might react differently to stress, but one thing is definitely for sure is that we can't stop stress. We can't erase stress. It is probably one of those constant things in our life. The only thing that we can do is try to manage it and learn how to deal with it so that it doesn't create havoc on our health and on our well-being. I have quite a lot of experience in this because stress did create a lot of havoc on my own health and my own well-being a little while back. And I wanted to also share with you my story of what happened to me. I'm by no means perfect. It is a practice, just like yoga. But I feel that now I've gotten so much better at de-stressing myself when I feel that life gets a little bit too stressful and I feel like I'm about to explode and I just can't handle it. So I hope that this is going to be a video that you can get something out of. Maybe you know all of these tips, maybe you just needed to be reminded. If you have something else that you would like to add that really helps you, I would love to hear from you. So just leave a comment in the comment box below. And if you enjoy this video, I would love it if you give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would be very appreciative if you subscribe to support me so I can continue to support you with free content. Let me get started on my 5 tips for how you can de-stress. We all have a nervous system. That is what keeps us alive. That's a sign that we are living and that we are breathing. The nervous system is called autonomic nervous system, and that means that it is on automatic. So we don't have to think about breathing. We don't have to think about the heart beating or the blood pumping. It happens automatically whether we think about it or not. But probably as yoga practitioners, we pay attention to these things a little bit more than those who might not be practicing yoga. But recognize that it's an automatic process in your body, whether you know it or not. Then the autonomic nervous system is divided into 2 operating systems. So one is called parasympathetic nervous system. You can think of that as the green light. That is that operating system that I think about as being human beings. We are the human beings in the green light. And then the other operating system is the sympathetic nervous system, and you can think of that as the red light. And I think of that as that mode we're in when we're human doings, when we're constantly doing. So naturally, we, on a daily basis, on a minute by minute, hourly basis, we fluctuate between the red operating system and the green operating system. We are human doings, and other times we are human beings. So that's fine. Now, if we do that in sort of a balanced way, then we're fine, we're okay. What happens during stress, though, is that we oftentimes only stay in the red zone, in that human doing side. And that is when our heart beats much faster, when we're breathing more rapidly, when our mind might be going a little bit more, speedy, and when we feel, that adrenaline just pumping. That is great if we go running and we do activities, that are cardiovascular and is like strength producing, but we don't want to stay in that red mode light all the time. It's super important that we work our way into the green mode light and we get into our human being side. Okay, so for most of us, for most human beings, it takes about 20 minutes to deregulate the nervous system. So to move from the sympathetic nervous system, operating system, into the parasympathetic nervous system. It will take about 20 minutes. So this is why it's important during the day to deregulate yourself and to step back and to find quiet space, to really tune into your breath and to just allow the nervous system to really collect itself and to ground itself. Because if we constantly stay in that red light zone all the time, that's when it really can create a lot of havoc on our body. So this is something, pun intended, to really think about and to really pay attention to, that we all have stressful situations happening to us. How we choose to deal with them is really in our control. So practice gratitude. Write down 3 to 5 things every day that you are grateful for, so that you then will be able to look at all of the good things that are actually there in your life, and you will focus on those good things instead of focusing on maybe the bad stuff that is happening. So it's just a matter of a little shift of perspective, and then that can make a huge impact on how you can actually de-stress yourself in a stressful situation. Now, I have a few tips that I can give you that you can practice right off the bat. When you wake up in the morning, do not turn your cell phone on. But if you use your cell phone as your alarm, train yourself to just turn your alarm off and put your phone to the side and tune yourself literally in to your breath. Take a full deep inhale, take a complete exhale, stay for 5 minutes, stay for 10 minutes, however many minutes it is that you have. So this way, first thing in the morning, you train yourself to tune yourself into yourself before you tune out into the world. And set an intention for your day. Like, how do you want yourself to operate? How do you want to try to navigate your way throughout your day? How are you going to try to take care of yourself within your day? And you'll be surprised, that makes a huge difference. Whether everything turns out the right way, that is beyond your control, but at least start off your day within your control. Then if you can do a yoga practice, if you can do, some kind of exercise, just to release tension, release tightness, that is fantastic, super helpful. Then another thing that I personally also love to do at night is to do Viparita Karani, legs up the wall. And it's super simple. Lie down on the floor, legs up the wall, one hand on your belly, another hand on your heart, and just tune in to your breath again. Just try to be quiet. You can have some soft music on, but just in your own space, and see if you can stay there for maybe a good 20 minutes. You might need time to build yourself up to 20 minutes, but if you can stay 20 minutes, you can then rest assured that you have deregulated yourself from that human doingness into the human beingness, from the red light into the green light, and you have really done your nervous system a fantastic service. You've helped it out, and then as you've helped your nervous system out, the nervous system will help you, and that is really going to help to feed your health and to feed your well-being. So any kind of practices that you might have, try not to forget about them during stressful times. Spend less time on TV and on social media, and then there I bet you will find 10-20 minutes for yourself so that you can deregulate and de-stress. And we all know this, right? But when we get stressed, when we feel exhausted, when we feel tired, oftentimes what we eat is the first thing that we can grab, and maybe sometimes that is not the best thing for us. There are certain foods that will help to support and nurture and calm your nervous system. And then there are other foods that will actually create stress in your body, make you even more tired. And that's, of course, more sugar, processed foods, caffeine, alcohol, stimulants can really do that. Now, everyone is going to react differently to foods, and nobody's saying to take away your coffee, but if you are drinking 50 cups of coffee or 50 cups of tea a day, that definitely is going to have a stressful impact on the body, put it more into that red light mode, and that is not good for stressful situations. So next week I'm going to share with you some of my favorite recipes that I use in my favorite smoothie that I start off with every day to help me stay de-stressed and to boost and support my own nervous system. So you can check out next week and I will share that with you. But on my blog, I will also share with you a little bit more about how food can have a huge impact and be so helpful to de-stress you. Staying in touch with friends, talking with friends, communicating with friends is a big de-stressor. Making an effort, even in stressful times, to get together with friends can make a huge impact. Hugging someone produces happy hormones in the body, serotonin and dopamine. Sex is also very important to keep up with, even if we feel like we lack time and we feel stressed and we're not really into it. It's going to send positive signals to the body and help you to de-stress. So that basically is it for my 5 tips, and I hope that you have found it helpful. So what I wanted to share with you at the end now was that I, at one point, was, living and trying to make my way in New York City, and I was working and working, trying to make it and create a career as an aerobics instructor and fitness trainer. And I think I had just discovered yoga at that point when this happened, but I was not that into my yoga practice, and I definitely didn't know then what I know now. Everything is about practice, and what Maya Angelou always used to say is that when we know better, we do better. But I was so exhausted at one point from teaching so many aerobics classes, for not getting enough sleep, for running around the city from sports club to sports club and serving clients, and just really being in that human doing side. One day I got this little bite on my right underneath my eyebrow, and I thought it was just like an insect that had bit me, and I didn't think of it, and all of a sudden my eye started to swell up, and I thought, oh, it's probably just the sty. So I went to the pharmacy, I got something, you know, to put on, and hoping that it would take it away. And it didn't go away, and I just kept on doing what I was doing, and gradually my face just swelled up the half side of my face. And I literally, I don't know if you've seen a movie called The Elephant Man, but I literally looked like the Elephant Man. My face was like 5 times as big as my other side. And I finally, you know, got myself to the hospital, and they couldn't believe what had happened to me. I looked like somebody had beaten the shit out of me, and they were wondering if someone was actually abusing me. And I said, no, I swear, this just happened. It was just a little bite. And my face swelled up like this. So I was immediately admitted into the hospital and put on IV, and I was there for 3 days. So the reason for that was basically that my nervous system was shot. I had been operating so much in that human doing side, trying my best to make a living and to work my way up in New York, and had not learned at that point to really, you know, take care of myself and to be more, or find ways to be more in that human being side. That my nervous system and my immune system was completely shot, and from that little bite it just became a completely huge big infection. And I learned a lot, you know, from that period of my life. I wish that I had a photo of myself, but I had friends that came and visited me in the hospital. I don't think anyone had a camera with them, you know, then. This was in 1997 or 98, so we didn't have iPhones, you know, at that time. But that was like a huge lesson for me. And from then on, and as I learned yoga and I learned, you know, self-practice and how to better take care of myself, I have more and more understood the importance of really somatic awareness and of knowing your nervous system. Because if your nervous system is shot, it takes such a long time to rebuild yourself and to just get up into a base level, and then let alone, you know, fill up that prana account so that it's overflowing. And this is why on a daily basis it's just so important that you take care of yourself and that you tune out from the external to your own internal environment and deregulate your nervous system so that you don't create that kind of havoc, you know, within your body. But we live and we learn, and when we know better, we do better, and that is just really the practice of it. So learning to love yourself and appreciate yourself for who you are and what you are, and recognize that you only have a certain amount of energy to operate within a day. Then you know from there on you will be so much better off, and you will then, you know, treat yourself like a king or like a queen. All right, so that is it for me. This is probably a long video. I hope that it is helpful. I will see you back here next week for some food related videos to help you de-stress. See you then. Bye. Number 4. Sex is excruciatingly important. Why did I say excruciatingly important? I meant extremely important. So don't get too stressed that you can't have sex.
That time will treat us well. Do you believe? I could never tell. What if it's all in vain? What if it didn't mean a thing? Have I gone insane? Or was it all